Good evening, folks. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of The World According to the Blind Dog. As you can see, we're traveling through space and time. Every moment we're here, we're traveling. Tonight we're going to continue with my COVID experience. This will be part 2. If you haven't, if this is the first one you've watched, I would highly recommend you go back and watch part 1 so you get up to date on where we're at. The hardest thing for me, as far as the whole book thing goes, is trying to organize what can't be organized, to try and describe almost what's indescribable, because how do you describe a different reality? I did make an effort, though. I've got notebooks right here, notebooks. I've been writing, trying to anyhow. I'm just open to a cacophony of memories and different things that happened to me. Really smart people have spent many years trying their best to learn how the brain functions, and it's still a mystery to them. They have no idea. And you can see that in the dream world, and the way that the brain works and can create memories to fit whatever situation you're going through at the time. It's difficult, excuse me. If I start trying to put too many words to it, I'll get everybody lost and you're going to tune out. But nonetheless, it is hard to categorize it, to organize it, because it's just not that kind of a thing. I will say that had it not been for my experimentation with hallucinogenics in my youth, I probably would have really freaked out. But instead, to me, it was just like another day, always moving forward. And that's in my DNA. I'm always moving forward. But just another day. None of this seemed peculiar to me at all. I've seen several different videos and read several different stories about near-death experiences, and a whole lot of them have this thing about going to the light and etc. You know, they go to the light, they're on the other side for a little bit, and they come back. It's not my place to discount that. I am only trying to relay the best way I can what happened to me and how I arrived at that decision that it was a near-death experience for me, because I was in the middle of coma and there was nobody to talk to or whatever. My near-death experience, I'm pretty sure, occurred while I was there at St. David's in the ICD ward. Bring you up to date. That stands for Imminent COVID Death Ward. There I was. This had to have been about August the 13th. And this picture here is probably the last thing I remember before they induced coma. And after that point, I got no idea about time, space, reality, whatever. There was a whole series, like a TV series, that's centered around a game warden up in Northeast Texas. And that is a video unto itself. If I could ever get everything organized and plotted out how it all worked. But I remember he and I had a physical scuffle. And I remember lying on my back in a great deal of pain on a hard surface. Let me set the scene for you a little bit. Everything past 3 or 4 feet from my eyes, from my field of vision, immediate field of vision, was either a dark gray or a black. So it always appeared to be either evening or night when I was in a coma that I can remember. So there I was, laying down in pain in my back. It probably had something to do with the stage 4 bed sore I had back here. But it hurt. Oh my God, it hurt. And I'm laying there, and I'm looking out across, I'm looking this way. And off in the distance on the water, I can see a light coming to me. It moves around a little bit. It's getting brighter, getting a little larger. As it gets closer, I can make out a human standing there as he's coming closer. He's coming closer. And as he came closer to what I could see, I could make out more of his features. And this was an old black man standing in a John boat with a lantern at the bow of the boat. And he's got a pole and he's working his way through the swamp. And he's coming up to me. And as he gets closer, I can make out more details. I can see his face. He's wrinkled. He's an old black man, and he's got gray bearded stubble and a trucker gimme cap on, a white t-shirt and blue jeans, and he just keeps getting closer and closer. And as he gets closer, I can feel an extreme amount of comfort from this man. I really believe at the time I might have thought that we were leaving to go play some blues guitar on his porch, you know. And I was extremely comfortable, no problem. He says, you know, he gets me in the boat. He puts me in that boat. We get in the boat. I get in the boat. And he starts pushing back away. And he's moving away. And as he's moving away, I'm looking back at what I'm leaving behind. And I could see Ronnie, and I could see Wesley. And we're drifting further and further away from them, and I'm beginning to the point where I can't see them anymore. And I'm saying, this isn't right, I can't do this. I can't do this, I gotta go back. I got to go back. And the next memory I have, I was back, right there, laying on the ground in pain. As you will find out in later videos, there were certain things that were going on with me in the real world, and they somewhat paralleled what was going on in my COVID world, in my coma world. I guess at the time that this was happening, the debate was, should we pull the plug? I did sign a DNR, but there was conferences of neurologists in a room at a table discussing my charts and discussing my neural activity. And man, anytime a group of doctors gets together, it's like carts in your hospital room. It ain't a good thing. There was one neurologist that said, I still see something there, but none of the rest of them did. And so they gave me more time. And slowly but surely, all the different circumstances added up, and I was able to come out of that, at least see hope, see light at the end of the tunnel. Listen, I've had plenty of time to think about this. over and over and over again. And there's absolutely no doubt in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, that that old man was taking me across the bridge to the other side. And when I got sight of what I was leaving behind, I had to go back. That just, yeah, there's no doubt. That was my near-death experience. Because everything after that began to get better and better and better. So because of that, I've developed a little bit of a theory that the Grim Reaper, the one you see on Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, the one with the black robe and the scythe blade, I think the Grim Reaper exists, only that it's unique to the individual. It's whatever or whomever you would find the most comfort with going to the other side. I could be wrong. I'm not a doctor. I've had a little bit of medical training, little bit, enough to get me in trouble. But in my soul, this is what I believe because of what happened to me. And there's no denying, people that know me on a personal, that share space with me, will tell you that I am not the same person I used to be before all of this. And I know in my mind, the way I think, the way I see the world, the way I approach different circumstances, I'm not the same person I used to be. And it's definitely the coma that changed that. There's this little thing I like to tell people, you know, when they ask me, I tell them, I've been to the fence and I've seen what was on the other side. And it's pretty much not what everybody thinks. You know, I'm not here to tell you what to believe in. I'm only here telling you what happened to me and what decisions and ideas and thoughts I derived from the circumstances. Please like and please subscribe. Share these videos with your friends. Ooh, a quick announcement real quick. I watched a video today that the title of it was Chumley from Pawn Stars is going to get sentenced to life in prison because of this. And I knew he was having some problems, so I thought I could turn to this and get an accurate assessment of what was going on. I can promise you, if you subscribe to this channel and you take the time to share it with your friends, that there will be some kind of content. I will never use clickbait, because never once in there was there any discussion about Chumley's legal problems. So you can take that to the bank and buy Snappy. That's the world, according to the blind dog. Good night, y'all. Laissez les bon temps rouler.
Nope.